And we're joined by head coach of the Trenton Devils, Kevin Dean, as the Devils now come to Wheeling to play the Nailers after playing against the Nailers in Johnstown. Coach, last night, perhaps some issues that you were talking about last night to the team and losing 4-1. After seeing a lot of goals in the first couple of games, you guys were only able to put up one tally. Some of the issues that you saw in last night's game.
Well, first of all, some credit goes to Wheeling. They did a nice job in their own end. I thought they're really tight in their own end, 5-on-5 and 3-on-3 down low. But we need to do a much better job of supporting each other, supporting the puck through the neutral zone, and supporting the battles down low.
One of the things that you hinted at there is puck support. What does that mean, and how do you guys improve that?
Well, it means, if the right winger, for example, has the puck in the neutral zone, and chances are he's going to have some pressure on him, either from behind him or coming at him. You got to get your centerman and your left winger over to make the play just a short little chip or a 5 or 10 foot pass. You can't be expected to make rink-wide passes through traffic all night long and have any success.
One of the other issues were some odd man breaks for the Nailers. Maybe a guy over pursuing something or not being in the right place at the right time. How do you explain those opportunities for the Nailers? And maybe they just seem to have a little bit of an edge, as you alluded to yesterday, having played the night before, and you guys had a week off.
Yeah, I think that works in their favor a little bit. The whole game we should have got back into it by the third period. But our guys are young. They're excited. They're energetic. They're trying to do too much in some situations. They're over pursuing the puck, like you said, or they over back check and the puck comes out high. I think there's two of those, and so you just gotta less is more sometimes, and they got to get that through their minds that less is more. I'll just stop in my position and wait for the puck to come to me.
And we also talked about it last night. No Andy Thomas, who played in 71 of 72 games for the Trenton Devils last year. The only one he missed was when he was up with the Lowell Devils, and they were playing at the Prudential Center in Newark. His loss last night, how much did you feel that?
Well, I thought, quite a bit, I'd say. I mean, it just, penalty killing, although it went well. But, Taylor Vachork went in and did, I thought, a real nice job on defense. Moved the puck real well and, stayed in his position and played well. I think the defensemen we had last night, for the most part, played pretty solidly. We just, like I said, I think we got to get more continuity in our game through puck support.
And you mentioned Taylor Vachork. That was my next question. In his professional debut, playing in a position that he's really not familiar with at defense, somewhat by necessity, how would you break down, that transition for him and how he was able to perform in his debut?
Well, he actually played defense most of his life until last year. I think he played defense, or until he turned pro, he played defense. So he's a defenseman by nature, I would say. But he's got very good hands, and he's got a good feel for the game and a good mind for the game. So, in a small rink like that, if he just stays tight, stays in position, he gets the puck and moves it right away, which he did, he's not going to have very much problems.
He's also 6'8", 250 pounds, and you'd think a physical presence would come from Taylor, and not only from Taylor, but from some of the other guys. What would you say about last night's physicality from the Trenton Devils?
I think it was just about non-existent. I just challenged the players in our pregame meeting to be much more physical. We've got 5 or 6 guys up front, that like to hit and like to bang, and so again, though, that all comes with getting the puck deep. It's hard to be physical if you're not getting the puck deep and not getting an opportunity for those hits. So hopefully, they just, the things kind of work together a lot of times in hockey. You do a good job in the neutral zone with the puck, you get a good dump, you're able to forecheck that dump, get a big hit, and then things can happen from there.
And we talked about it, this kind of odd size to the rink, the very shallow corners. Just seems like a small place and a very lively sidewall as well. How much did that influence last night's game?
I don't know if it influenced it. I mean, they're playing Wheeling's playing in the same rink, so I don't think that hurt us in any of the goals. One of the last goals, kind of a weird break off the glass, I think, as much as anything. But it's a little different for sure. But I don't think it favors anybody, unless they play there all the time, which isn't the case.
And they'll be playing there 10 times this year. That was the first time, aside from a preseason one, and you guys will be playing there 4 times this year. Back here in Wheeling today, taking what you could from last night's offense, what do you see developing from some different combinations? What changes might we see tonight, if any? And you go from scoring 5 goals and 6 goals to 1 goal.
All right. Well, again, I think Wheeling did a nice job, and we weren't supporting the puck. So, Matt Kang's going to come in. Jeremy Atkinson will be out tonight, and Kang's an offensive player, and he I'm looking for him to be good and greasy down low and get the pucks to the net, which was kind of something we were lacking last night. We had a lot of zone time, I thought, but we weren't able to penetrate their 5 men. So hopefully Matt can help us penetrate that, get some shots to the net, and then just crash it and get some ugly goals.
Dave Crusoe was in goal last night, faced 45 shots. As a team, you guys have allowed 117 shots, close to 40 per game now through 3 contests. Obviously, not a number you're proud of. Changing goaltender tonight, yes or no? And, what can you do to help your goaltenders, because 45 shots in a game is obviously not what you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's funny. I just challenged the guys to, 40. I said, we're giving up 39, 40 shots a game, which is way too many. Lurg is playing tonight, and to me, the shots are, we're doing a nice job in the neutral zone. We're not giving up many odd man rushes, but we're over back checking, we're over pursuing, we're running around in our end too much, and it's just a lot of second and third kind of, weak shots that are getting on net. But what they do is they're not great chances, a lot of them, but what they are is they just add to some confusion to your game, and they make your game seem very, clustered, and it's not a fun game for for our team to play in. So it just doesn't give you a good mood about the game. I think, if we can cut the shots down to 25, 30, it give us more continuity, less time on our own end, more time to go on the offense.
You mentioned challenging your team a couple times in that pregame conversation just moments ago. Early in the season, just a few games in, how do you try to play that even keel? Of course, you don't want to come out and ream your team out just a few games in, but you also want to get a message across. For you now as a head coach, what is that like, trying to strike that balance?
Well, I'm still feeling it out, and different teams respond different ways, I think. And I'd be lying if I said I figured this team out exactly how the best, to challenge them and get the best response. I brought 4 guys in last week after the Saturday night game. They responded very well on Sunday. Today, I didn't single anyone out. I just said, as a group, we need to be more physical. We need to have more puck support. We need to, turn this game into a referendum, our forwards versus their D in their end. This is the 3rd game in 3 nights for them. So, I just challenge them to get the puck deep and just, work those defensemen and Wheeling to death. And hopefully, by the 3rd period, they break down and we can score some goals.
And you've been in that situation, playing 3 games in 3 towns in 3 nights. So early in the season, does that do anything to hurt Wheeling and maybe an edge for you guys, or not really?
I think it should. I think any time one team's playing 3 games in 3 nights, that should work in your favor. Now, last night we weren't as physical as we should be, so that we let them off the hook a little bit there. But again, if we can, make their defensemen turn around all night, go back and get their puck and get their face in the glass, that should work in our favor.
Very good. As the Trenton Devils get ready for the Wheeling Nailers in Wheeling, hopefully you don't get to hear that very, very loud goal horn tonight.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've never heard it, but it's lore apparently. They're like, just if you hear it, put something in your ears. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, it's back there. They haven't scored at home yet. They were shut out by Toledo in their lone game in this building. So
knock on wood, Dan.
Yeah, where's the wood? There it is. Okay, very good. Kevin Dean, thanks again. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. This is Trenton Devils Hockey.